From Disney's sweetheart, Alex Russo, to Mabel Mora and Only Murders in the Building, Selena Gomez's career in Hollywood has been like no other. From acting to singing and even launching her own successful beauty brand, Selena has gone from a child star to a pop icon. But believe us when we tell you that the journey hasn't been easy for her. After being diagnosed with lupus in 2014 and bipolar disorder in 2018, in her Apple TV documentary, Selena has finally opened up about her battles for the first time. Stay tuned because in this video, we're going to take you through it all. How it all began. When Selena Gomez announced her new documentary titled Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me, the fans weren't expecting how candid it was really going to be. The movie takes us through 6 years in the pop star's career where she talks about all the bad parts like she never has before. My Mind and Me shows us an entirely different side to Selena where she talks about how her fame contributed to her deteriorating mental health. The documentary starts in 2016, which is when Selena was in an on and off relationship with Justin Bieber. And of course, everyone knows how terribly publicized that whole thing was. Right in the start, we see Selena talking about how her entire career was overshadowed by her relationship, saying, "When am I just going to be good enough by myself?" Not just that, but the documentary takes us back to Selena's past and how her career as a Disney star would often come back and haunt her. The actress and singer talked about how she loved working at Disney, but watching people lose interest in her anytime she tried to break away from that wasn't easy on her. During an interview, we see her talking about how she wanted to pursue philanthropy in the future. But as soon as she wraps up, she breaks down, saying that the interviewer just wasn't interested in her own choices and decisions. For a huge part of her career, Selena claims that she felt like a product that was endorsed rather than an actual person with her own thoughts and feelings. Every time we see the paparazzi, they're asking Selena questions about her relationship with Justin or her time at Disney. And that explains why she feels like she's been reduced to her past, with the media not letting her move on. All of this is what made Selena wonder whether she was even good enough to be in the industry. With her ex and her past projects taking over everything she did, the singer talked about how hard it was for her to exist as an individual in the entertainment world. I don't want to be alive right now. The journey with lupus. After a sad opening, My Mind and Me takes us to Selena's last rehearsals before she was all ready to go on her 2016 revival tour, which was supposed to be her big comeback into the world of music. However, on one of the last days of rehearsals, her team is packing up the costumes, equipment, and props as we see Selena go through one of her worst mental breakdowns. She goes to her dressing room and breaks down in tears over how nothing was going right for her. We see Selena talking about how she keeps missing her mark, how her costumes don't look good on her, and how she just doesn't want to go up on stage like this. The breakdown ends with the singer saying, "I don't want to be alive right now," and that's all it takes for her management to decide that the tour just cannot happen. Selena was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease lupus back in 2014, and since then, the treatments have had a severe impact on her career and mental health. Because of the low white blood cell count in her body as a complication of the disease, she would often suffer nervous breakdowns that would leave her unable to focus on her career, and that's when things started going downhill for her. Before going on stage, Selena would have to check her blood pressure because it was too high she could have a stroke due to her lupus. Eventually, it was all just too much for one soul to handle. The dark days. 2018 was the most difficult year for Selena because it all came crashing down, with complications from her condition and a final and very public breakup with Justin Bieber. She had to be admitted to a psychiatric facility where she had to go through several treatments to deal with the physical and mental pain she was facing. Selena's mom revealed that she found out about her daughter's breakdown through TMZ because even in her worst moments, the paparazzi just wouldn't leave her alone. 2018 and 2019 were some of Selena's hardest years. She constantly doubted herself and wondered if she was even good enough to be part of the industry. But she still took on the role of executive producer for the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, and she worked on the show from 2017 to 2020 because she felt like that was a story that needed to be told, especially since it resonated with her so much. Selena talked about how her mental health was in shambles, and she wouldn't get out of bed for days on end. She talked about how she felt that the world would be a better place if she wasn't there. She cut herself off from her friends and family and was going through extreme suicidal ideation, and no one knew what was going on. In 2017, she had to go through a kidney transplant when her disease damaged her organ beyond repair. That once again forced Selena to put her work to the side and focus on recovering. When her lupus resurged in 2020, Selena refused to take her medication. It was as if she stopped caring. The documentary also shows how the singer would often get into arguments with her loved ones, who would often unknowingly put pressure on her to be a better performer. At moments, we also see Selena unravel after not being able to control her emotions and pushing her family and friends away. It's safe to say that the whole situation took a huge toll on the singer, but it's remarkable how she kept smiling, braving her way through it all, opening up about her bipolar disorder. Perhaps the most shocking revelation in the documentary was the fact that Selena has been struggling with bipolar disorder since her mid-20s. She said that she first started to experience psychosis in 2018 and had to be kept at a treatment facility for several months. She was then diagnosed with the disorder and had to take several months to come to terms with her condition. According to her friends, during her hospital stays, Selena would be distant and unrecognizable. The singer herself said that it felt like her life was over and that she was gone, but she later revealed that this was because of all the medication she was on that made her feel hollow on the inside. "There was no part of me there anymore," said Selena. Eventually, she was able to seek out a better treatment and start her healing process. Rather than seeing her illness as something that was taking over her life, she started learning how to manage it. Selena opened up about how she was kept in 4 different treatment centers, which was perhaps the darkest point of her life. She felt like she wasn't in control of her feelings, whether they were good or bad. And because she has always shared her highs with the world, she decided that it was time for her to open up about her lows and offer her support to people who might be in the same situation. Getting back on track. While it was difficult for Selena to deal with her mental health and the pressure that came with being famous, she opened up about how the more she accepted herself, the easier it was. So she took charge and started learning about her condition. And the more she knew, the better she could deal with it. Of course, her family and friends were by her side through it all. Selena also mentioned how the entertainment industry's unrealistic beauty standards would always get in the way of her healing because she would always end up feeling like she wasn't good enough, smart enough, or pretty enough. She opened up about her diagnosis at the 2019 McLean Psychiatric Hospital annual dinner for the first time, and as soon as she headed home, she knew that she wanted to let the world know too. That night, she called up Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter. Together, they wrote "Lose You to Love Me," a song about acceptance and self-love that has gone on to become Selena's magnum opus. In the song, Selena talked about it all. She talked about her mental health. She talked about her past relationship that the world just wouldn't let go of. She talked about her journey of moving on and powering through it all. And that became the song that she relaunched her music career with. According to Selena, the song was the truest reflection of herself, and when it became her first track ever to top the Billboard Hot 100, she knew she had done something right. That was when the healing began. Selena opened up about how a lot of her anxiety attacks and depressive episodes were triggered by all the spotlight that was constantly on her. She said that at one point, she started hating it all, wishing that she had never started singing or acting. But today, she knows that she has a voice in this world, and she wants to use it for the better. Selena's future. Today, Selena Gomez is one of the biggest advocates for mental health in the industry. Through her journey, the star has discovered her purpose in life, to help other people. While her singing, acting, and venture into the beauty world are going strong, Selena is now focusing mostly on philanthropy. The documentary shows how Selena has become a prominent voice for causes that don't just include mental health advocacy, but also include education and all other kinds of social causes. Through giving back, Selena has found a sense of purpose stronger than ever. Toward the end of the documentary, Selena talks about how optimistic she is not towards her mental health condition and how she is constantly working on herself every day. "I remind myself that it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the psychotic break, if it wasn't for my lupus, if it wasn't for my diagnosis," she said. "I think I would just probably be another annoying entity that just wants to wear nice clothes all the time. I'm depressed thinking about who I would be," said the singer. She believes that her condition was a way for her to connect with her own self and discover how much she loves helping others. Even with her music, she wants to stop focusing on mindless pop and make music that can spark a difference. Through Rare Beauty, Selena has established the Rare Impact Fund, through which she raises money to offer young mental health treatments to young people. In May 2022, Selena's journey came full circle when she was invited to speak at the Mental Health Youth Action Forum at the White House. Here, she talked about how important it was for mental health to be represented positively in the media, and the more you learn about it, the more you know how to tackle it, just like she eventually did. My Mind and Me sheds light on a very different side of Selena, one that's raw, emotional, and even hard to watch at times. We see her breaking down in tears one minute and smiling, singing, and laughing the next. Spanning 6 years in the singer's life, the documentary has shown just how difficult life really can be when you're in the spotlight for your entire life. And that's all for today's video. So what do you think the future holds for Selena? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Until next time.